Last week in KidZone, we heard the next bit of Jacob's story. Not a very nice one, actually. Jacob was a cheat. We're going to find out what happened next. Jacob was in trouble. He had tricked his father and brother, and now his brother was angry. His father was sad. And his mother was worried. Esau, Jacob's brother, was out for revenge. He was even threatening to kill Jacob. Jacob's mother Rebekah said to him, "You need to get out of here. Go to my brother, and then you'll be safe. You can get away from here." So Jacob had to set off. He had to leave his family and set off about 400 or 500 miles to where his uncle lived. When he travelled, he was tired. At the end of a long day, he was so tired that he used a stone as a pillow. He lay down and went to sleep. While he was sleeping, he had an amazing dream. He saw a stairway going up into heaven and angel messengers going up and down it. God spoke to him. He said, "I am God. I'm the God of Abraham, your grandfather, the God of Isaac, your father, and I'll be your God." God made 3 promises to Jacob. He said, "I'm going to give you and your family this land that you're sleeping on. And I'll bring you back here. Number 2, you will have lots of descendants. Number 3, I will protect you and go with you. When Jacob woke up, he was amazed. He said, "God was in this place and I didn't even know it." And he decided to call the place Bethel, which means God's house. Jacob travelled on. And at last he came to his uncle's house. His uncle, Laban, was pleased to see him and welcomed him and made him feel at home. Things went well. But then Jacob discovered something. Laban was a cheat. Jacob fell in love with Rachel, Laban's daughter, and he wanted to marry her. Laban said, Yes. So they got ready for the wedding. But then Jacob discovered that Laban had given him the wrong daughter. Later, Jacob also married Rachel, because sometimes in these days people did have more than one wife. But he'd been tricked. Laban also tried to trick him in other ways. Laban liked to change the rules and make things up as he went along. Sometimes he would say, "Yes, you can do that. Yes, I'll give you that." But then he'd change his mind and say no instead. Once he told Jacob that Jacob could have all the spotty sheep. But then he hid the spotty sheep, so Jacob couldn't have them. But God was looking after Jacob, and God was keeping his promises. Jacob and his wives began to have children. Lots of children. At least 13. Don't drop the baby. Hold on to that baby. Also, even though Laban had hidden the spotty sheep, more spotty sheep were born. The lambs that were born were spotty ones. And they all came to Jacob. And Jacob became a rich man. So God was keeping his promises. Lots of descendants. I will be with you and go protect you and go with you. What about this one? This story's not over yet. To be continued.
For the craft this week, we're going to make a ladder. Did you know that you could make a ladder out of a piece of paper? Well, I'm going to have a go. Now, I've got 3 bits of paper which I've sellotaped together. And the first thing I'm going to do is roll them up. I've not actually done it with 3 bits of paper before, so I'm hoping it'll work. But you want to roll it up so it's not too tight. You'll see why later, I think. Anyway, I'll put the colour on the outside because that'll make the ladder will look better that way around. So now we have it rolled up. I just stuck the bits of paper, the 3 bits of paper together before with a little bit of sellotape, and I think I'm just going to use a little bit more sellotape to just to hold the ends together. One bit on that side and another bit on the other. So let's we'll have that underneath because what we're going to do now is we're going to make a couple of cuts. This is make them equal, so we'll make one there, and I've got a little mark on the scissors, which is quite handy. So what we'll do is we'll cut halfway across the rolled up paper. In fact, probably just a little bit beyond halfway, but don't go too far, otherwise we'll have no ladder left. So So if we've made that cut there, we can then we'll make a cut across the middle, and then we can then get it a little bit more easily. So we'll snip off the sides between the cuts, and one on the other side. This is where you don't want to be sort of not cut far enough before, otherwise it. Now, with what's left, we can then want to fold it. That one in there. This one this way. Now, this is the amazing transformation you get, because I can't quite get my finger in there, or not easily, but if I start pulling with the top there, you have to do a little bit on one side and a little bit on the other side, the ladder will begin to emerge. It will begin to come out. There you have it. I must admit, I'm quite pleased with the way that's come out. So, do you think I could climb up that ladder? I don't think I could, actually. It is still a paper ladder. But Jacob wasn't invited to climb the ladder that he saw. There are angels who climbed up and down it, but the ladder for him was a picture that God was with him. It wasn't to provide a way out of the situation that he was in. He was in trouble, but the ladder was to tell him that God was with him. And many years later, Jesus was talking to one of his followers, and he told them that the ladder that Jacob saw was a picture of himself. It is the link between God and us. And he said he was like that ladder because he is the link between God and us. And when we're in trouble and we wonder where God is in it, Jesus is with us in that. And so if you want to make this ladder, and there are plenty of good YouTube videos on how to make them, then you can have it as a reminder that Jesus is the link between God and us. Thank you.